Hey, this is Pastor Paul Krampitz. I'm coming to you from my study here at Bethany Lutheran Church in Cromwell, Connecticut. This is a stewardship message, so if stewardship turns you off, be forewarned. I think stewardship is an essential part of the Christian life, and let me explain. First, the prop for today is this offering box. Freely you have received, freely give. That's a great stewardship message, a reminder that everything that we have comes to us as a gift from God. God freely, abundantly pours out the gifts of life, our family, our friends, all that we need to sustain this life. Read Luther's Small Catechism and hear how Luther describes how God provides all the things that we need for life, especially in his explanation of the Lord's Prayer, the petition, "Give us this day our daily bread." Luther describes for us how that prayer for daily bread is a prayer of trust, a prayer that God will provide for us daily, so we don't provide or pray rather for bread for a week or bread for a year, but bread for today. And Luther understands bread as all the things that we need for life: health, shelter, clothing, companionship, all the things that we need both physically, emotionally, and spiritually. We pray for God to provide for us daily. And God does provide for us daily and abundantly. Sometimes our eyes are closed to the abundance, to the relative wealth that most of us here in this country enjoy compared to those living around the world. So stewardship is simply being faithful managers of the gifts that God has given us, using them certainly to care for ourselves and our family, but also for caring for those who don't have as much, who are in need, our neighbors. And during this time of COVID-19 pandemic, there are indeed people who are in need, perhaps some of you. We want to know if there's a need that we can help to meet as a church. But there are also many of us who have been blessed with abundance of gifts. And this is the time for us to continue to freely give as we have received. So I want to say thank you to the many people who have continued to mail in their offering envelopes, who have given online through other electronic means. Perhaps you're one of the people who are not members of the church, but you have been touched by these daily messages or by our Sunday live stream services. Perhaps you might considering helping to support this important ministry. I encourage you also to donate food to food shelters in your local community. If you have extra clothes, to donate those clothes, to help out the agencies that are important to you, but above all, remember your church, your community of faith, where we share the gospel and where we as a church and as part of the wider church meet the varied needs of people who are all around us. Frederick Buechner, who I respect deeply, a wonderful theologian and author, said that our vocation can be found where there is a deep need in the world and where we have been deeply gifted, where our passion are. A way that I like to restate that is to call before us the question, who are the people in our community that are hurting the most? What are the gifts that God has given us to help meet those needs, to alleviate their suffering? We are all called to be good stewards, to freely give as we have freely received. Thank you for those who are already doing that. Thank you for those who have continued to do that during this difficult time. And for those that have not yet reached out and supported this congregation or other organizations, a gentle reminder that because God has been so good to you, God expects us to be generous with those gifts to others. That's all for now. This is Pastor Paul Crampett saying goodbye and God bless.